My name is Erin. Nice to meet you. This will be a gentle yoga class, and I hope you enjoy it. Bye.
Welcome, everyone. Beginning on your back with the hands on the lower belly, begin to breathe into that lower belly so you feel the hands lift up and slowly lower with each exhalation. Deep, slow breaths here. Then we're moving the hands down to the floor, moving into a bridge flow. Inhale, lift the hips and arms up. Exhale, lower the arms and the hips. Moving with your breath, warming up the shoulders and the lower body. Couple more here, making sure to press evenly into the feet, keeping the knees hip distance apart. Then on this next one, holding at the top, reaching the hands toward the ceiling and alternating like you're trying to touch the left hand, then the right hand on the ceiling, holding your bridge. Exhale, lower everything down to the ground. Hugging the knees into the chest, nice and tight, compression pose here. Then extending the arms out to a T, moving into windshield wipers, flowing the knees side to side with the breath. You can release the feet down to the ground here or keep them elevated, yogi's choice. And try to glue the shoulders down to the ground though, as you flow side to side with the breath. Then releasing the feet down to the ground, shifting the hips to the left, dropping the knees to the right, looking over the left shoulder and holding the stretch. We're really going to get those hips today. Inhaling to center, lifting the hips over to the right, dropping the knees to the left, turning the head to the right, and breathing. Back to center, releasing the feet and the hands down. Then lifting the right knee up and making nice slow hip circles. So really the knee moves in a circle here. The leg stays bent and glue the hips down to the ground. So we want to avoid rocking through the hips. Reverse your circle. So think about just moving the leg bone in its socket. Then extending the right leg straight up, lowering it down, pointing the toes, lifting it. Exhale, flex lower. Inhale, point, lift. Exhale, flex lower. Moving with your own breath. And then bending the leg, reaching for the back of the thigh, hugging the thigh into the chest. And then inhale, point and flex. Exhale, flex and lower. Point and straighten. Flex and lower. So a little bit of nerve flossing here. Try to keep the thighs static, so only the calf and the foot move. And bringing the legs straight up, right ankle to left thigh, arms out to a T, and gently rocking the legs side to side. You should feel this in the hips. If you don't, it just means they're not very tight today. We're still warming up. And then go ahead and drop all the way over to the left, option to look over the right shoulder. So legs stay just the way they are in that reclining pigeon, but just drop over to the left. Inhaling to center, and then hugging that right knee into the chest as you straighten the left leg. Moving into nice slow circles again. You can use the hand to guide the knee in circles. Getting into that hip. Reverse your circle. And then hug the knee into the chest, pinching that hip flexor, Left leg is active and reaching toward the floor. And then let's guide the knee over to the right, gluing that left hip to the ground as we open up through the right hip. Inhale, center, exhale, guide it over to the left. You want the right hip on top of the left here, so hips are stacked. Stretching the spine, chest, shoulder, hip. Inhale, center. And then other leg. So left leg lifts up, leg still bent, nice slow hip circles, moving into that left hip. Glue the hips to the ground, no rocking here. And then go ahead and reverse your circle. Left leg extends straight up, lower it, point and lift, flex and lower. Moving with your breath or a little faster, whatever feels good here. Then bend the leg, reach for the back of the thigh, pull it in, point and straighten, flex and lower. Nerve flossing. Thigh stays exactly where it is, only the knee, calf, foot move. Nerve flossing on the left side. Then bring the left ankle to the right thigh, that nice, gentle side to side movement. Noticing the difference in the hips. You might feel one side more than the other. That's normal. Then we're going to drop the legs over to the right next time. Option to turn the head to the left. And relax. Focus on the breath here as you hold the stretch. Inhale to center. Hug that left knee into the chest, straighten the right leg, and then move into hip circles again, using the hand to guide the knee in circles, moving into that left hip. Reverse your circle. And then compression pose, holding the knee in as tightly as you can. Guiding the leg over to the left, gluing that right hip down to the ground, opening up through that left hip. Back to center, guiding it across the body to the right. Hips stacked, left on top of right. Option to look over the left shoulder. Inhale, center, release both feet back down to the ground. Hug the knees into the chest. Then move the hands to the back of the thighs. Begin to rock front to back. Tiny movements, big movements, your choice. But about 5 rocks. And then make your way up to a seated position. Just easy pose or cross-legged. And then moving into nice, slow torso rolls. Getting into that lower spine and the hips. Reverse your circle. And then meet in center, bringing the soles of the feet together for butterfly, and introduce gentle movement, flapping the legs here, like a butterfly. And then hinge and fold, holding the stretch static. Inhaling on up, and then making your way to all fours. Feel free to place a blanket under the knees here if your knees bother you on all fours. Moving into a nice slow cat and cow with the breath. Inhale, belly drops, hips reach back, chest reaches forward. Exhale, curl, really tightening through the core. Inhale, back to cow. Moving at your own pace. This should feel awesome. Then holding your cat, arching, and then inhale to cow and hold. Hips reach back, chest reaches forward, looking up slightly. Nice long spine. Back to neutral, then come all the way up to kneeling. Kick the right leg out to the side, right hand to right leg, and then left hand to the ground and back up. So moving through the torso here from gate pose to extended kneeling side plank. Working on the obliques as we stretch and strengthen the hips. Then holding upright, bringing the left hand to the ear, stretching through the left side of the body. Glutes are on here, pressing the hips forward, shoulders relaxed. Inhale, left hand comes to the ground, right arm overhead. Press that right foot into the ground so you feel the stretch all along the right side of the body. Breathe. Inhale up, bring the right leg in, left leg out. Same thing on this side, flowing with your breath. Keep that core engaged, very light on the hands here. Little to no pressure in the right fingertips or the left fingertips. Then holding gate pose, bringing the right fingers to the right ear, opening up through the right side of the body. Then right hand comes to the ground, left arm overhead, kneeling side plank variation. And then rotate back down to all fours, bringing the right leg up, foot, and just internally, externally rotate. So think about doing a windshield wiper with that right leg. Moving into the hip, foot is flexed. Then bring the right knee to the ground, tap it out to the right, back in. Tap toes out, tap them back. So internally rotating through the hip here. Then back up with the left leg. Internal, external rotation. Then same thing here, left knee drops, tap the left toes out to the left, back to normal. Tap, center, tap, center. And then knees wide, big toes together, press back to child's pose. Breathe deeply. You can make this an active child's pose where the arms lift up and you're only on the fingertips, or you can relax the arms, but breathe into that belly. Then shifting forward, we're going to move into hip circles, leaning the hips right, back, left. Right, back, left. Leaning into each hip. Then reversing the circle, keeping the core active. And then meeting in center. Moving into hip circles with the left leg. So basically just move the left knee in slow circle. Reverse that circle. Try not to let the hip open. And then extending the leg straight back. Option to add the right arm for spinal balance. Breathing deeply. Then lowering down, same thing on the right. Hip circles with the right. Imagine there's a block on your hips. Don't let it fall off. Go ahead, reverse that circle. You could actually place a book or something there if you want a little feedback to see how your hips are doing. Then right leg extends straight back, left arm, spinal balance. Breathe. Feel the core supporting the spine here. Then release both down to the ground. Press back to child's pose, knees wide. Shift forward to a kneeling plank. back to child's pose, moving with your breath. Knees can be wide or together here, whatever feels best. Then option to sink the hips into an almost full cobra. If that feels good on the hip flexors and lower back, continue. Otherwise, just stick with your kneeling plank. And coming all the way up to kneeling, swinging the right leg forward to a kneeling lunge. Inhale the arms up. Exhale down, shoulder rolls and kneeling lunge. Make sure that left glute is active, hips are strong and supported here. Inhale up and hold. Left glute is very active. Exhale the hands down, lift up the left foot, prepare for warrior one. Inhale up. Arms wide, exhale straighten, bring the hands together. Inhale, chest opener, bend leg. Exhale, straighten, bring the hands together. Then holding warrior one. Press into that outer edge of the left foot, but pull the left hip flexor forward. Then straighten, hinging forward, nice straight back. Bring one hand to the back here to make sure that it's nice and straight. And bring the hands to the floor, drop the left knee, shift the hips back and forward. So half splits to kneeling lunge, flowing back and forth. Then shifting the hips back and holding. Inhale, lengthen through the spine a little bit. Exhale, try to bring the belly to the thigh. Option to point and pigeon toe the right toe. Yeah, that'll help you feel it more on the outside of the right leg. Back to center, back to our lunge. Inhale the arms up, interlace the fingers, bring them to the back of the head and lean into the hands. Releasing the hands to the ground inside of the foot here. Sink the hips for a lizard variation. Swing the right leg back, knees wide, child's pose. Walk the hands over to the left side of the mat. Feel the stretch through the whole right side of the body. Back to center. And swinging the left leg forward, inhaling the arms up. Exhale down, shoulder rolls. Inhale the arms up. Hold, breathe. Exhale the hands down, lift up the back knee, prepare for warrior one on the left leg. Inhale up. Open the arms nice and wide. Bring out hands together as you straighten the leg. So flowing with this. Challenges the balance, warms up the leg. We still get that stretch in the right hip flexor. Inhale, traditional warrior one. Breathe. Then straightening that left leg, hinging forward, nice straight back. One hand to the thigh, one hand to the back. Then bend the leg, bring the hands to the floor, drop into kneeling lunge. Then flow from half splits to kneeling lunge. Try to keep that back as straight as possible. Then holding the half splits. Option to pigeon toe and point the left foot so you get that stretch on the outside of the leg. Back to center. Inhale the arms up, interlace the hands behind the head, dip the head into the hands. Inhale up, exhale down to lizard. Sink the hips. Try to keep the left knee in line with the left ankle. You can come down to the forearms here, but you don't need to. Swing the left leg back, then thread the right arm through into a thread the needle with child's pose. A little bit of a shoulder stretch as we make sure to stretch the hips. Then switching side, left arm threads through, shift the hips back. Right arm reaches to the top of the mat. Pressing on up and up to down dog. Introducing whatever movement feels good here. Just make sure to have a nice long back. Legs can be as bent as you need here. Then looking between the hands, walking the feet forward to forward fold. And enjoying that fold. Keep a little bend at least in the legs. Tuck the tailbone a little bit. Nice long back here. Inhale all the way up to standing. Interlace the hands at the top, lean to the right, back to center, then left. Just moving through the side body, making sure the glutes and core are active here. And interlacing the hands behind the head, tipping the head into the hands, back bend. Core is on, glutes are on. Back to neutral. Release the arms. Step back so you're wide along the side of the mat. Toes turned out. Moonflowers. Inhale up, 5-pointed star. Exhale, squat. Pull the elbows in. Moving with your breath. And bringing the hands to the hips, left toes turn to the side, right toes to the top, getting into warrior two position, then right elbow comes to right thigh, left arm overhead, extended side angle. Stretching through the whole left side of the body, press that left foot into the mat. Feel that nice stretch on the outside of the left hip. Inhale up, turn the feet parallel, side lunges. Leaning into each hip, stretching the opposite inner thigh. Nice and slow here. Then turning the left toes to the back, warrior two, left arm melts to left thigh, right arm overhead, extended side angle. Think about lifting as you ground down through the feet. So upper body reaches up, feet reach down. Turn the feet parallel to one another, hands on the hips, exhale, straddle. Walk the hands so the wrists are right under the shoulders and try to have the weight half and half. Half in the feet, half in the hands. Feel that lower core engage. You'll notice you're dumping into the ankles less this way. And then come on down to kneeling. Reach for the fingers behind the back, add a chest opener, reaching the knuckles toward the floor. Head can look up, neutral, or chin to chest. Chin to chest is my personal favorite, but whatever works for your neck. Then arms extend, right hand back, left hand forward, head to the left, then switch hands, switch head. Nerve flossing. So basically your head goes toward the hand pointing forward or away from the hand reaching back. And coming to a seated position, legs straight in front of you. and hinge forward to forward fold. Don't worry about how close your head is to your legs here. Think about a nice long spine, engaged core. As long as you feel the stretch in your hamstrings, you are good. Bending the right leg, opening it up, Janu Sirsasana A. Go ahead and hinge forward. You can relax the head once you're there. You do not need to make the bind, just optional. Then inhale up, bring the right ankle to the left thigh and hinge forward again. Depending on how tight your hips are, you might not be able to come very far. Don't worry about it. As long as it feels good, you're good. Come on up, then bring that left foot across the straight leg, twist to the right, hook the left arm, and look over the back right shoulder. Unwind to center, open up into straddle, inhale, lengthen, exhale, hinge. Once you're to your spot, you can release the head and shoulders. Keep those feet active, kneecaps lifted. Inhale all the way up. Bring the feet together. Bend the left leg, open up, Janu Sirsasana A on the other side. Exhale, hinge, walk the hands to wherever feels comfortable, then relax the head. Bring the left ankle to the right thigh now and hinge forward again. As much or as little as feels good on that left hip. If you have open hips but tight hamstrings, you might feel this more in the hamstring than the hip. Come on up, bring the leg across that right leg, hook the right arm, twist to look over the back left shoulder. Make sure that right leg is active, foot is flexed, toes pointing up. Unwind to center and then lay on down on your back. Open up into butterfly, supine. Bring the hands to the lower belly and breathe into the hands. Gently bring the knees together. Straighten the right leg, bring the right ankle to the left thigh, press the right knee away. Option to stay here, or you can thread the hands to the back of the left thigh and pull the legs closer. Release the left foot, release the right foot. Left ankle to right thigh, press the left knee away. Option to stay here, or you can thread the hands through to the back of the right thigh or the top of the right shin, hugging the legs in closer. Just make sure your shoulders and head are still relaxed on the ground. Release both feet back down to the ground. Hands by the hips. Inhale up into bridge. Option to interlace the hands behind the back and hold and breathe. Release on down, hugging the knees into the chest, and then reaching for the toes or outside of the foot for happy baby. You could instead hold on to the back of the thighs here, just trying to bring the knees toward the shoulders. And then bringing the knees together, hooking the right arm along both knees and guiding the legs over to the right. Left arm extends out, look over the left shoulder. So this is a twist variation. It should feel nice. Inhale, center, hook the left arm around the legs. Guide the legs over to the left. Looking over the right shoulder. Back to center, release the feet. Straighten the legs, moving into final relaxation. Whichever form you like. I'm going to say namaste here. I would recommend 5 minutes or more of final relaxation. If you'd like to connect with me on social media, we all need a little more connection these days, myself included. I've included my Instagram, The Yogi Writer, my Facebook page, Erin Marsh Yoga, and my website, erinmarsh.com. I hope to see you virtually and possibly in person sooner rather than later. Enjoy your final relaxation. Namaste.